How to become able to talk to anyone you want. Why do we generally find that hard? Because of several assumptions. If you were asked to initiate a conversation with a stranger right now, you will experience the following reactions. 1. Before going up to somebody and initiating a conversation, our brain tends to run different simulations on how this conversation will go. In these scenarios, your brain takes into account all the insecurities you have, and on most occasions, these insecurities become the writers of these scenarios. So you tend to imagine the worst outcomes in which you get embarrassed, rejected, awkward, and as a result, you decide not to make a movement. 2. I have nothing to offer. I'm not interesting. I'm boring. I will not convince you otherwise. If that is your assessment about yourself, it must be true. There is a possibility that you might be selling yourself short, but you are certainly not delusional. To this, I would say two things. First, so what? Life in a modern, safe environment is boring. Think about this. How many activities in your planned out daily life just blow your mind away? In your daily routine, how many times does it feel that one task after the other is just filled with awesomeness? Life lived in the trail of seconds is boring. And to cope with that, we make plans to seek out excitement. Which is why you dress up before going to movies, shopping, to parties, hanging out, and on any such occasions. Because your expectations with such experiences, it is going to be exciting. But how many of such hopeful experiences just turn out to be complete letdowns? How many nights at the club with your friends, movies, hangouts are simply boring? It happens a lot. You know why? Because hope is a prayer. It's a wish. Hope has no ability to influence reality. Whether is it going to be a great night, a great time, a great experience, or a complete dud depends entirely on you and the people you are with. What does that mean? It means your life will be filled with excitement the moment you start taking actions that surprise, shock, and go against the predictable course that you have set for yourself. When you go against monotony, when you open up entirely new lines of possibilities by unplanned interactions and communications with your surroundings. Now apply this scenario individualistically in your life, in your everyday, you alone. That's the life you're living, waiting for excitement to magically happen to you, waiting for magical people, magical experiences to enter your life without any initiative. Your life is boring anyway, and that is not tragic. What's tragic is that it is not a choice. You hate it. So let me repeat it once more. Life, regular ass life, is boring. Not just for you, for all of us. So those who make the same routine exciting aren't different from you either. They are simply taking chances with the unknown, unplanned, and against their own overthinking self. Second, you have accepted that you are boring. You believe that it is a part of your personality. It's a label that you carry on your forehead. And with such a level of acceptance comes a certain strong level of enactment. If you believe something, you're going to act that way. Well, I have news for you. Just because you're boring right now doesn't make you boring forever. It is just a comment on your current personality and quite possibly a true one. But don't shy away because you got a bad review. It's all right to suck because it is not a permanent disposition. You can change that tomorrow. You have met, observed, and heard stories of many people who changed their entire personalities, grew out of their insecurities and fears, and emerged more confident than ever, and yet you feel helplessly assured that you're going to remain this way. Nothing will magically happen to you or for you. If you don't want to change, at least be honest that it is your choice. 3. The great mythical serum known as confidence, which we all want to be injected with. Here's the basic truth about confidence. It comes from familiarity. It cannot be learned, taught, practiced, earned. It is not a substance, it is a feeling. Feelings are a response to an external stimulus. In a familiar environment, you feel safe, secure, confident. In an unfamiliar environment, you feel alert, nervous, unsure of what to do or say. Confidence basically comes with the familiarity you build with the territory you are traversing in. We have been fooled way too much by reading quotes that begin with, confidence is the key. Confidence is the key to success or getting that thing you want. That's a bullshit quote. Here's an accurate quote. Repeated attempts is the key. That is why every sprint runner doesn't directly enter the competition. They run tracks first, train first. Every fighter doesn't directly go into the fight. They spar and train at the gym first. Every guy who finds it impossible to talk to women thinks he lacks confidence as opposed to the guy who is used to talking to girls. The actual reasons for your reluctance or the lack of confidence are, while you were growing up, you didn't have much interaction with women. Secondly, you're not that talkative in nature. Just blend these two reasons in a guy and you have a person who thinks picking up girls is a science. Let's break this down for a moment. Basically, what every pickup artist eventually teaches us, the key to picking up any girl is confidence. Replace the meaning of confidence with repeated attempts just for the sake of argument. Basically, he's saying talk to random girls as much as you can and you will learn. Then he will address your fear of rejection by telling you to embrace it and not be affected by it, indirectly suggesting that picking up girls is actually a game of numbers. You will get better as you move upward in number by applying the method of trial and error. In simple words, you will develop familiarity by repeated attempts. The more you do something, the more confident you become in it, because repeated attempts expose its functioning, its nature, the patterns, and your mind with that knowledge starts figuring out the solutions with quick responsiveness. The second thing it does is the fear subsides simply by repeated contact. Humans fear the unfamiliar, not the other way around. People who haven't had an interaction with dogs do not jump at them to pet them. People who've had dogs as pets more than often do. Fear is a calculated reaction by your mind to an unknown result, and that is precisely why most of the time it is irrational, because there is no data on what exactly the outcome is going to be. So you consider the worst outcome that could be. And we go back to the start. Before talking to a stranger, your brain runs several simulations, and in consideration of those worst outcomes, rejection, awkwardness, embarrassment, you dismiss the whole idea. Irrational fear. Lastly, you see talking to a stranger as a test that somehow defines your self-worth in your own eyes based on the reaction of a stranger. Does that make sense to you? The problem is a claim that has been taught to us by movies and TV characters and YouTube pickup artists, which basically means you can talk to anybody you want to. It all depends on your game. If your game is strong and smooth enough, you will always close the deal, which basically is bullshit. Not only is it completely inaccurate, it is bloated arrogance being sold to gullible teenagers that somehow the power is in your hands. And this strategy basically teaches you to become a creep who is ready to go to great lengths using manipulation, lying, and intrusion to get somebody's number. Because it is implying that your game isn't strong enough if you don't get the number, which further makes you some sort of a loser. Persistence, if applied in learning and achieving something, can make you a god. But the same persistence applied in getting a girl makes you a psycho. The power in any conversation is equally divided, and that's what makes it a conversation. Take this as an example. You're at the mall in some store, and this guy comes to you trying to sell you something, and you are unbiased, undecided. You might buy it if you see any interest. But then this salesman starts pushing this product on you. He's making up bullshit about it, telling you lies, just saying anything to get you to buy it. What it will most definitely make you feel, among other things, is uninterested in the product. So stop buying into this narrative that picking up girls is somehow selling yourself as a product, for which you have to turn into this obscene, unrelenting salesman. Even if you get her number by this, you will still have to talk. She will eventually figure out who you really are, and she can reject you then. So this bullshit salesmanship is a time waste. The truth is, most of the people are just as shy as you. That's the reason why videos with titles including words such as confidence, shyness, talk to anyone have millions of views on them. You're not alone. Looking into a phone is easy. Looking at someone reminds us of the worst outcomes. It is simply the fear of unfamiliarity stopping you. All you need to do to strike a conversation is to genuinely, and I repeat, genuinely want to look at a person and be interested to know something about them. There need not be a motive. You're not selling anything. Just genuinely ask a guy, hey man, what do you do? And you will have a conversation. Look at the interaction technically. When you say, hey man, to a stranger, he might be taken aback because he will get confused. Such a thing has never happened to him, so don't take it as a bad sign. You understand his surprise, so just diffuse it by taking charge. Say something like, I was just getting bored, so thought of asking, what do you do? The situation will settle in his mind and he will respond. Reply with, great. How is it like in that job? Why should you talk about his work? Because a guy either hates his job or loves it. If he hates it, he wants to talk about it. If he loves it, the same. Also, he will want to be heard. After he replies, at this point, make an observation not about his work, but about his take on his work. That shows you are listening, you are empathetic, attentive, and on his side. For example, your remark could be, seems like you don't like it very much. Or, is it that stressful for everyone? Or, seems like you've always wanted to do this. Every subject has several dead ends. So always try to respond to the person's view on that subject. That conversation is free-flowing. Now, there is still a chance that this conversation might die rather quickly. What's important is, you had a conversation. There are several reasons why any conversation can immediately die or not even begin in the first place. A person is having a bad day, is in a bad mood, is in an unusual mood, is simply busy or simply not interested. You can never tell what is going on in the life of a stranger. You, on the other hand, just took a step in the unknown, unplanned, and away from the predictable. With enough repeated steps, you will learn how to talk to anyone. You will become confident around strangers because where someone might see strangers, you will see possibilities. I hope this video helps you. I have a few minor announcements to make. Recently, it was told to me by a YouTube manager that the subscription is not enough anymore. To know when we upload a new video, you need to turn on the notifications by clicking on the bell button. It's absolutely stupid without a doubt, but I have no control over this. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, why dude? My next video is on becoming a powerful speaker, a great talker. And then I have a video on how to talk to girls as well. Not to pick up girls, but how to easily talk to any girl you want. So you should subscribe to this channel. Lastly, I need you to join any of my social medias because I'm going to be improving your English there. One video isn't enough, so I need you to be active on any of them. I will be posting many exercises full of information every single day and then randomly take tests. I would recommend that you join Instagram because on Facebook you don't get updates from most of the pages that you have liked. But it is up to you. The username everywhere is @mensutra. Thank you for listening and have an amazing day ahead of you.